Hey folks, CA Rachana Ranade here, and I welcome you all to a very interesting IPO summary video of Billion Brains Garage Ventures Limited, which is nothing but the parent company of Grow. I'm sure everyone knows about this company, but what we are going to understand today is not only about what does the company do. We'll understand about the industry analysis, we'll understand about the financials, some key KPIs that you must know when you analyze or when you learn about such companies which are mainly into the broking industry. We'll also understand about certain risks, and towards the end we'll understand about the IPO details. Very interesting video, so keep on watching it till the end. Now, first things first, let's understand what does the company do, and then we'll also understand about some key milestones that the company has achieved. Okay, so first, what does the company do? It's a direct to customer digital investment platform. It's a digital investment platform, so you can basically transact using their platform. Either it's an app based or a website based platform. Okay, I'm sure everyone might have at least gone through their platform at least once, be it their mobile app or be it their website. Now, what do they offer? They offer customers wealth creation opportunities. How could that be so? By providing a platform through which you can invest. Where? Maybe invest in stocks, maybe invest in mutual funds, maybe in bonds as well, trade in derivatives, whatever is the case, right? For that, they are providing a platform. Now, question is that okay, they have provided a platform, agreed, but how many users do they have? And for that, they have given this that the company was the India's largest and fastest growing investment platform by active users on NSE. We'll talk about the exact numbers on transacting users, active users in the coming parts of the video. But just for you to understand what is an active user, any user who has at least used some services of, so I'll give you a simple example for an active user. Let's say there is a person who went on to Grow's website, or who went on to Grow's app and checked the quotes of different stocks or read some blog or whatever. So that is an active user, a user who has visited their website or their app at least once in the previous year. That is an active user. But then what is a transacting user? Transacting user will be one who has at least made one transaction. It could be, let us say, buying or selling stocks, buying or selling mutual funds or bonds or whatever, at least once in the previous year. Okay, so I hope you are clear with the distinction between who is an active user versus who is a transacting user, and they are India's largest and fastest growing investment platform by active users. Okay, simple till here. Apart from these providing this digital investment platform, they also provide MTF, that is margin trading facility, and also consumer credit. Now we'll understand how do they generate revenue, and for that they have given this nice diagram in their RHP only. I'm sure everyone knows by now that all our videos, which are summary videos, are purely based on RHP, and whatever we feel can be crisp or can be made in a nice summary format is what we present through the video. So what have they given about their business model? They say very important for us is active users, because you can imagine a user downloads Grow app and doesn't ever look at it again. That is not going to be helpful for them, right? So how they go about it is, first they'll try and acquire new transacting users, new users first they'll acquire. Only acquisition is not important. Then they'll say we'll try and ensure that there is a good retention of existing users, and for that they'll ensure that their app has some good information so that the user is tempted to revisit their app or their website. Correct. Then they say that we will attach a product. So basically, let's say some person downloads the app, but that is not going to generate revenue for them. After downloading, they have to ensure that some transaction happens through that user, right? So that is how a product will be attached to that. So product attachment means, let's say he buys shares or mutual funds or bonds or whatever. Okay, that is how we say product attach. Then once the person feels, "Arey, this is so easy, this is comfortable, I can do that easily," in such case the user activity will ideally increase. Correct. So let's say a person started his journey with Grow by only investing in mutual funds. If he feels it's easy, I may think of buying mutual funds as well. Sorry, buying stocks as well or buying bonds as well. That's how the user activity can increase. And ultimately, if the person feels, okay, now I'm rich enough, I am earning a lot, and instead of me taking the decisions, I would want to go ahead with wealth management services. That is also what this company is offering. So that is how the price per, or ARPU, basically average revenue per user, is going to increase. Price levelers are going to be on a positive side, right? Talking about the company history, again, fantastic story. Started in March 20, I mean, the web fund, the mutual funds web only platform started in 2017. Then they got their Grow app live in abhi iOS March 18. Then in between 19 and 20 they received the broking license. Now you can imagine receiving broking license somewhere between 19 and 20 and becoming India's largest platform by active users in 2025. fantastic journey, right? 2020 21, they came up with IPO investing as well, investing in stocks and cash, stocks, cash, intraday, both is what they introduced on their platform. Then on their platform they introduced derivatives between 21 22. Between 22 23 they become pat profitable, also got an approval from RBI for NBFC, introduced consumer credit. Between 23 to 24 they were the largest broker on NSE, first NFO is what they came up with. Also in between 24 and 25 they introduced MTF, which is a margin trading facility, also launched Grow Credit app. I'm just telling a few points, okay, not each and every, I'm not reading out each and every one for you. Between March 25 to June 25 they came up with LAS, that is loan against securities, API trading, bonds, wealth. So I mean, if you look at this company history is definitely interesting, a lot of points added up. But in the next section we'll understand what are few KPIs which you must understand while you analyze companies like Grow. Now let's talk about the KPIs, or the key performance indicators. So first let's understand the logic about these KPIs. See, when you're analyzing a company which is mainly into broking. Now why am I saying mainly into broking? For that, if you just have a look at this, you will see that for this company, broking accounts for almost 85%. This is as at 31st March 2025. If you check 3 months ended June 25, I mean 30th June 2025, you'll see that still it is 80%. That's a significant portion, right? So wherever broking is a significant portion, what all parameters should you check? Number one, I always say how much are the active users. You have to understand that. How much are the transacting users? Not only how much as at date, you have to see whether that number is growing or not. At what pace are they growing? All these things have to be checked, right? Then we also check about how much are the transaction, or how much is the overall daily turnover. Higher the turnover, higher is going to be the revenue generated. And for that, we also check ARPU, that is ARPU, average revenue per user. Apart from that, we also check the financials. We are going to check that as to how much it would be the revenue, how much would be the EBITDA margin, EBITDA growth, profitability. Okay, so now the thought process is clear. Let's understand about the key KPIs. For that, have a look at this. Now if you see overall mutual funds, you can see active users from March 31st 2023 to 2025. Look at the growth, all these are in millions. User base, active user base has improved from 2.84 million to 8.37 millions. See, I'm not going to read each and every figure, right? If you just observe these figures, if you want, you can pause and observe, and you will see that the multiples in which they have grown is at least 3 to 4 times in a span of last from 2023 to 25. So even if I say from 2.84, which even if I round it off to 3, from 3 it has gone to 8.37 million. So that's almost tripling of the overall MF active user base, right? Even if you check about MF assets held in Grow, how much AUM, how much assets of users are held inside Grow, from 2,44,000 million rupees to 11,30,000 million rupees roughly. So again, this is a growth of more than almost 4x. So as I said, more than 3x, 4x is pretty common here. Overall MF SIP inflows have also increased. That is about mutual funds. Talking about broking services now. Now again, important, how many broking orders, more and more orders which are being punched in, more revenue will be generated. And here you can see from 602 millions to 1800 plus million. So again, 3x growth here. Broking transacting users, again, not only acting users, active, not only active but transacting users, increased from 5 millions to 13 millions. Again, this is more than 2.5x growth. So again, good one. Now talking about overall, again, for stocks, average daily turnover has also improved from 23,000 millions, rounding it off to 90,000 millions again. So more than 3x growth. If I'm talking about derivatives, again, active derivatives users have increased. Overall turnover, you can see our average daily premium turnover, that has also increased. And how? I mean, again, more than 4x again. Consumer credit disbursements have also increased. Here you can see a small degrowth, in fact, from 16,000 million to 14,000 million. But wait, it's because disbursements by Grow Credit Serve technology has increased. It was almost zero, direct to 12,605 million from 23 to 25. MTF, if you remember, I told you in the history part, they have just started in 25. So here you can see 23, 24, 0, and that's how they have just started. And they will now, it will be interesting to see how their margin MTF book increases. But if you see, already in the first quarter itself, they have gone up from 6,000 million to 10,300 million plus. Talking about few more KPIs, as I mentioned, this one is always what I look for. Platform ARPU, average revenue per user, that has increased from 2,540. That is the revenue per user, average revenue per user, from 2,500 to 3,339 rupees ARPU. Again, a good jump here. Overall revenue from operations, here you can see revenue from operations have gone up from 11,000, again rounding it off millions, to 39,000 millions roughly, again more than 3x growth. If you check now, first I talk about EBITDA excluding other income. So that has grown from 3,000 to 23,000. If you're talking about adjusted EBITDA, from 4,000 to 23,000, all rupees millions. EBITDA margin, again see how it has improved from 36% to 59%. And if you see here, profit for the period, profit or loss for the period, it was 4,500 millions, rounding it off, then a loss in 24, and to a profit of 18,243 million in 25. I'm sure you might be like, Asa kasa kai, what is about this loss figure? If you want to know the answer, keep on watching. Now, first, let's quickly have a look at one or two important points from the industry analysis. Current TAM is 1.1 trillion, expected to go to 2.2 to 2.6 trillion by 2030. That's a compounded annual growth rate of 15 to 17%. And user base is expected to improve, that is the number of users in the market is expected to improve by a CAGR of 12.7%. But if I check what has been the growth at which users have increased in Grow in the past, their user base CAGR is around 61%. So interesting. Now talking about the financials, revenue CAGR for this company is 79.47%. This is about 23 to 25. Okay, EBITDA has grown at 143% CAGR, and PAT at 99.64% CAGR. Now, if you see here, talking about the previous point, I told you that, oh, there was a loss in 2024. But why was this? It's very clearly given. It's an exceptional item related to taxes, and that's a 13,396 millions ka loss related to taxes. Exceptional item hai. So that is the reason why this slipped into losses. And here you can see ultimately here as well. But apart, if I were to remove that, again here also the company was profitable. Okay, so good enough growth from 4,500 millions to 18,000 millions in 2025 31st March. Okay, so that's about the financials. Coming to the key risks now. All risks, again everything mentioned in the RHP. Risks, the very first one, they say that it's very important that because they are a technology driven platform, if there is a failure, there is an interruption related to their technology, it could adversely impact their business. Is this true? Definitely yes, because you can imagine we transact through their app, we transact through their website. In that case, if their platform itself fails, if there is an interruption in that, could that impact the business? Yes. But a good point here you can see is that that is the reason why probably they are spending a lot on technology. In fact, you can see that out of the total expenses, percentage of expenses that have been incurred on software, server, technology expenses, that has been rising, and it has risen to 27.62%. So are they working hard to ensure that the uptime or the running time is good? Answer is yes. Second one, they have mentioned that yes, a lot of revenue is generated by broking as a segment. We have already talked about that, almost 80% revenue from broking. But I feel that is again a normal point, because if it's a primarily a broking company, it is ought to happen, right? Third thing that they have mentioned is if they are not able to acquire new transactions, if they are not able to acquire new transacting users, or if they are not able to retain the customers, again it could impact the business. But again, I feel this is a normal business risk for any business. If you are not able to acquire new customers, if you are not able to retain the existing customers, it is going to be a risk, right? One important and point that you must know that they have mentioned is about the overall markets also, that if there is a downturn, there is a disruption in the financial market, there are some policy related changes, economy related changes that could impact the business. So of course everyone understands that, let's say 2 years, 3 years, market is not giving returns. You can imagine an absolute lull in the market. It is ought to happen that people may transact lesser, and with that their revenue can get impacted. Talking about one more example of policy matter, so I'm sure you might have known about this, that SEBI recently introduced a new framework for derivatives, which was called as measures to strengthen equity index derivative framework for increased investor protection and market stability. Big one. Basically what happened was, because of this circular, they said that you can only have one derivative instrument per exchange for a weekly expiry. So if you remember, Nifty had both bank Nifty and normal Nifty. Then NSE was told that only one derivative product you can have, so they went ahead with normal Nifty expiry weekly, and Bank Nifty was shifted to monthly. So in such cases, what happens is that lesser products for weekly expiry, it is going to impact their revenues. Also, the overall lot size was increased for a few derivative instruments, for contracts basically, and that was the reason why again their revenue was impacted. By how much is what we will understand. You will see here that, especially if I talk about the 3 months ended data, you will see that fees and commission income dropped from 8,834 millions to 7,289 millions. Okay, so this is what was about. I told you right now everything. All in all, could these be temporary reactions, knee jerk reactions? Yes. What will be important for us to check is zoomed out view as to how these things pan out in the coming future. Now let's quickly understand about their peer comparison, and for that I have actually taken you to their RHP, which is only 568 pager RHP. And rather than me making you go through all these numbers one by one, I know it will be very tiring. For peer comparison, what I've done is, you can see here it is given our company basically Grow. Then you can see Angel One, you can see Motilal Oswal, you can see 361 WAM, you can see Nuvama Wealth, you can see Prudent Corporate. All these companies they have mentioned. uh, I mean, for a peer comparison has been given for all these companies, and these are the basis on which the peer comparison has been done. Just to simplify and go ahead quickly, I have just highlighted where they are number one as compared to their peers. If you see NSE active clients, they are number one. Growth in NSE active clients, they are number one. Contribution margin, if you are talking about, there they are number one. And profit or loss for the period, the margin part only, for that also they are number one. Now talking about the valuation, what they have done is, again, all these names that you saw in the RHP right now, you can see here all these are the domestic players. They have also given their global peers as well. Same names, if you remember the ones that I showed right now. For global peers, they have mentioned Robinhood, Interactive Brokers, and Nordnet. All these are their global peers. Now if I were to do a valuation comparison, then overall the valuation pre-IPO comes to 33.26. Post-IPO valuation, of course, PE valuation comes to 40.79. Now, if I were to compare it with industry, highest, lowest, and average comes to 40.77. By the way, this average is of domestic plus global peers. And if I were to compare it only with the domestic peers, average comes to 35.13. Moving on with the ultimate point about the objects of the issue and IPO details. If I were to first understand about the IPO details, opens on 4th of November, closes on 7th of November, 95 to 100, small ticket size price band. It's a fresh issue of 1,060 crores, offer for sale of 5,572 crores. So major part is OFS. Minimum application, maximum application is what you always understand, somewhere around 15,000 always. If we talk about what is going to be done with this fresh issue of 1,060 crores, they have very clearly mentioned expenditure towards cloud infrastructure. If you remember the technology part, 1,500 plus million is going to be invested here. Brand building, performance marketing activity, 2,250 million. For investment in some of their subsidiaries, again 2,000 million. Again, a similar point for 1,675, and balance for general corporate purposes. So I hope you have understood a lot about this company, because knowing about just the name Grow versus understanding what all does the company do, understanding some few KPIs, I'm sure you might have learned something new at least today. Understanding about their financials, their peers, the valuation, risks, and ultimately about the IPO details. I hope you found a lot of value in today's video. If you did, please don't forget to smash the like button. Please don't forget to share this video with your friends. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye bye. You might have come across such advertisements on various social media platforms. Please note, all of these are fraudsters promising unbelievable returns through stock tips. I don't provide any calls or advisory services. I provide only educational content through my social media handles and through my website rachanaranade.com and rachanaranade.in.